So let's move forward and understand other events. So now we'll be working on the keyboard events. So these events, and if you get time, so we'll be working on form events as well. So basically we created functions in the last video. Now for understanding keyboard events, we need something where we can actually write some keyboard events, or we can execute some keyboard events. So for that, actually I'll be using one input tag. Let's say input type text, and in here I can use these events. So the first event that we are going to use is this one, on keydown, which executes something whenever somebody clicks on a keyboard button. So it can be any button, but make sure the user clicks the button, so presses down the button basically. So we can execute this by using on key down. So in here I can specify any function. Let's say I can specify the same log me function which was earlier created. You can see that. So if I do this, now you can see this input is here. Whenever I'm pressing any button, let's say if I press shift, so this text is logged out. If I press any alphabet, let's say D, so that is logged out one more time. You can see it is showing us that. So basically it will only add this function or execute this function when somebody presses down a key. So that's why this event is called key down event. Similarly, we have on key up, which executes any function when somebody releases that key. So whenever we are releasing any key, at that time we'll be able to log out something, or we can execute any function here. So for example, we can change the text color or anything we can do. For example, I can create this any extra function. Let me just call the same function change text color. If somebody releases the key, then I can change the text color to red. Let's change that. So for testing purpose we'll be doing that. So let's say if I press S here, so you can see logged out, but if I release that, so you can see this is in the red color. I can also do one more fantastic thing, that I can change the text, or I can change the reset the color when somebody presses the button, and I can change the text color to red when somebody leaves the button. So that will be a good idea, I think. Let me just refresh that. So you can see it is actually changing the text color from red to black. And why it is happening? Because I'm constantly pressing something and releasing the key. That's why this is happening. So now I've released the key, that's why it is happening. Also our hover event is still there, so that is also working. And we can also change the text color on pressing of key and releasing of key. You can see that. So this is a very good thing we can do. Similarly, we have the last event, which is on key press, which is kind of similar to on key down, and but it is having some difference, that in on key down or on key up, these events will execute when somebody presses any key. So it will be executed when any key is pressed from the keyboard. But on key press event only occurs when somebody clicks any characterized key. So any key which has a character on it. So it can be numerical key, it can be alphabetical keys, or others. So basically on that only we can execute something or execute any function. So let's say if I want to use on key press event on this input, So I can do that easily. Let's say I want to use on key press and I want to just log out the something. Let's say log me function, the same function. If I do this, so we know that if I press shift here, so the key up and key down event will execute it, but not the key press. So if I press shift here, so you can see the red color is executed and the black is also executed, but there is no log here. There is no log here. Why is that? Because shift is not a character key, that's why. But if I press any character key, let's say S, so you can see something is logged out, because I told you that on key press event only occurs when somebody clicks on an on a characterize key. So it can be any alphabetical key or any numbers key, so which are character only. But this event will not occur when somebody clicks on any let's say shift key, control key, alt key. All these are not a character key, so that's why. So this is the keyboard event in here. In the next video, we'll be understanding about form events and the remaining events. So stay tuned with us. Thank you for watching. Let's meet in the another one.